Hello and welcome to TrojanVision Spring Semester in Review. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor, and over the next hour, we'll take a look back at the events and happenings from the spring semester. And it was a big semester for Trojan athletics as 3 different teams won their Sun Belt Conference championships, starting with the men's and women's basketball teams. Both teams won their Sun Belt Conference tournament championships to advance to the NCAA tournament. The men were first with a win against Texas State to make their second ever appearance in the Big Dance. Jamal Kennedy got reaction from the team.
It's been 2 days since the men's basketball team won the Sun Belt Conference title, and there are still a few feelings looming over.
What they've done by winning this tournament and getting into the NCAA is just a special experience that they'll remember the rest of their lives.
So just try to go have fun, just lock in to go over their game plan, go over game plans and see what they like to do, see what their strengths are, see what their weaknesses are.
Coronado talks about how huge of a confidence boost winning the tournament was for the team.
It's just great for us to come in and buy in and to sacrifice the little things like playing time and just scoring ability, scoring like people like to score on our team. So just try to sacrifice stuff.
The honeymoon stage is over now as Troy takes on one of the tougher teams in the nation in Duke. But to the team, it's just another game.
Preparation is the same. It's just like any other game. Even though they're a great team, they're a national ranked team, and they projected to go to the Final Four. So just gotta prepare yourself like any other game.
I think our guys like it because it's a much more of a national stage because you are playing a team like Duke. But
one thing about our team is we live for the big moment, and we always play well in big games. So I know we'll be ready. We just treat it just like any other game.
The Trojan women's basketball team won their Sun Belt tournament by defeating Louisiana Lafayette, earning their second straight trip to the NCAA tournament. The team and Trojan fans found out who the Trojans would face during a selection show party in Trojan Arena. Sarah Drake has the details.
The women's basketball team learned that they will open play in the NCAA tournament against second-seeded Mississippi State. The team learned who they would be playing during a watch party held in Trojan Arena on Monday.
We're thrilled, of course, to be going to the dance. We drew Mississippi State. It's a great team, a great program. Vic Schaefer's a great coach. But we're coming for them. You know, we're going to do everything we can to win that first game.
Coach Rigby said that her Trojans will need to continue to play like they have been all season.
We just need to keep doing what we're doing, which is playing hard, rebounding hard, running fast, getting a lot of shots up. But we do need to get in the gym and work on our shots because we still haven't shot our best this season. We have rebounded our best. We would love to keep it right there. We have shot a lot of shots, but our shots have not fallen like we know that they can, and we're hoping they do against Mississippi State on Friday.
Senior Caitlin Ramirez said that it is time to get back in the gym and get ready to face Mississippi State.
We're back again this year, and so now it's time to get down to business and, get in the gym, practice, make shots, run the floor, do what we usually do, and, we'll see how it goes when we play this week.
Ramirez also said that the team will take advantage of the Bulldogs' star player not doing so well in recent games.
Apparently their best player isn't doing so hot very well right now, so we're definitely going to take advantage of that. And, we're a running team, and he said we definitely got to score more than 48 points a game. Well, we average around 90 points a game, so they're going to have to score more than 90 points to beat us. So we'll just see how that goes.
Troy and Mississippi State will face off in Starkville, Mississippi on Friday at 1:30. Sarah Drake, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The Trojan women's golf team won their 3rd Sun Belt championship in 4 years to get an invite to the NCAA Regional. Sarah Drake was with the team when they found out where they would be headed.
It was a special day at the Troy Golf Clubhouse Thursday as the women's golf team learned they will be heading to Athens, Georgia for its 3rd NCAA regional appearance in the last 4 seasons. Head coach Bart Barnes said he thinks that this is a good sight for the team.
Super excited. I think that's a good sight for us. Our young ladies have been there. We've seen the course. A few weeks ago, I think we saw it in probably the toughest conditions it could possibly play, playing in 30, 40 mile per hour winds, and so I think the girls will have a certain level of comfort there, having played it several times. So for me, I'm very excited. I think it gives us a great chance.
Barnes said that he never imagined this type of success during his first year, but he is proud of what the team has accomplished, not only for themselves, but also the Trojan athletic department.
You start out with high hopes, obviously, and you work really hard, and To say that I could see this coming, no way, not in my wildest dreams. I just know that these young ladies have worked really, really hard and have done so much just to make this university proud, make our athletics program very proud, and it's really been just a great experience working with these young ladies.
Senior Fatima Fernandez-Cano said it would mean the world to be one of the teams heading to nationals.
It probably means the world, both for me and the team, and I imagine any college golf player in the nation. It would mean the world to be one of those 24 teams to go to nationals and compete against really, really good teams.
The team will be teeing golf from the UGA golf course on May 8th. Sarah Drake, Troy, TrojanVision Sports.
And sticking with athletics, in April, the Trojan Sports Hall of Fame expanded its ranks to include some current record holders, coaches, a band director, and a Super Bowl champion. Jalen Bivens has the details.
If you've been to Trojan Arena, then I'm sure you've walked past the Trojan Sports Hall of Fame wall. On Saturday evening, the wall had a few more names added to it.
It's a great award for, past accomplishments and the people that helped me, to achieve these accomplishments, to be awarded at the end of your career. I'm just happy, that the university recognized me as one of the elite players.
One of the newest inductees added to the Hall of Fame is former Giants wide receiver and Super Bowl champion, Jarrell Jernigan.
It means a lot. It means a lot. Like I say all the time, Troy is my second home. And when I'm not in Fall, I'm down here in Troy. But this honor means a lot. It came unexpected, and I didn't think I was going to get in, especially this early. And then when I got the phone call, it was just a surprise. So it's a great honor.
Another person inducted into the Hall of Fame is former Sound of the South band director, Dr. John Long.
Well, it's certainly a great night for me, and it's a wonderful honor. I'm very honored to be in this Hall of Fame. It's a real great privilege and honor, and it makes me feel so good to be in these wonderful people.
And when asked what DeWitt Betterson's most memorable moment was of being at Troy, his answer was,
it was the bus rides, on the away games, like we had the opportunity to drive to Middle Tennessee, which is a long ride to us, but we had so much fun on the bus just riding with each other, getting to know each other, joking and laughing, and even a couple of times we had bus drives we lost, and to see other people, how they react to losing versus some were upset and wanting to fight and others was laughing and joking,
Jalen Bivens, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy University's Rosa Parks Museum on the Montgomery campus got a new addition in April, one that will aid in the museum's educational efforts. Sarah Singletary has the story.
The atrium of the Rosa Parks Museum now has a new identity. The atrium was named in honor of Montgomery native Charles Baum's family in a ceremony on Saturday.
We're excited to celebrate again the Rosa Parks Museum and the support that is being provided by the Baum family, originally from Montgomery. Miss Parks was an icon, and the museum that was opened here in 2000 certainly has become a center of much activity, and it also is one of the crown jewels, I think, in central Alabama. It's been visited by almost 750,000 people since we opened it, coming from 200 countries, I think all the icons of the civil rights movement. And so in recent months, the Baum family, late Charles and Miss Patty Baum and their entire family have become involved with us.
The wife of the Baum family patriarch says the donation was made to the museum because of its role in educating about the civil rights movement.
He always sort of felt like his family should have maybe been more active in terms of the civil rights movement. So there was a little bit of a regret for him, and so I really wanted to make this gift so that his legacy would live on and that his children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren would really understand who he was as a person and how important this part of his life was.
A donation made by the Baum family to the Rosa Parks Museum will go toward expanding educational efforts through the museum.
For instance, we have a 3-day summer camp that we offer for children. Beginning last summer, we started it with a pilot program. This summer, we're able to actually have it for the public. And so in that summer camp, we emphasize nonviolent conflict resolution based on the principles of Mrs. Parks' legacy.
Sarah Singletary, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy University is home to over 200 terracotta warriors in Janice Hawkins Park. But now Troy is not the only city in Alabama to have possession of some of the warriors after a donation made in April. Samantha Charles has the details.
The Montgomery Public Library is now home to a pair of terracotta warriors. The warrior statues were presented to the city of Montgomery by Troy University Chancellor Jack Hawkins. The statues are part of the gift initially given to Troy by Chinese artist Hu Baozhu last year.
For us to have 200 terracotta warriors standing on campus in Troy, I think is a major achievement. We're very proud of that, but we wanted to share those warriors with the river region. And because of our admiration and friendship with Mayor Strange, we have given 2 warriors to ultimately be located at the Montgomery Museum of Art. And today, though, they will stand tall in the Montgomery Library, and it's our honor to make them available.
Mayor Strange says that after seeing the warrior display on Troy University's campus, he went to longtime friend Chancellor Jack Hawkins to see if some of the statues might make their way to the capital city.
They will be the guardians of the literacy that we have here. This is part of a whole story that Troy has been working on for a couple of years with the artists, giving them 200. And when we saw it, I had been to Zion before, I had seen the terracotta warriors. I was really envious and jealous, and so I asked my friend Dr. Hawkins, who I've known since junior high school, if he wouldn't mind giving us a couple of those, and he has done that.
Strange says that for the time being, these statues will stand guard over the library, but he hopes that he might be able to get another gift so they can be a permanent display.
Now I have to make the decision whether it's going to be in the library or whether it's going to be in our sculpture garden. So I'm trying to get 2 more to go in our sculpture garden at the museum. But we're grateful and very honored to be the recipient of this marvelous gift.
In Montgomery, Samantha Charles, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And drivers with an allegiance to Troy University have been able to show their Trojan pride through a Troy University Vandy plate for their car. However, the plate, which is a fairly common sight on campus, got a new look this semester. Justin Walker has the story.
By law, Troy University must change the design of its university license plates every 5 years, and 2017 marked the change from the old to the new. A newly designed Troy University car tag was made available at probate offices throughout the state of Alabama beginning on January the 1st. The new design was created by a group of university leaders that wanted to add a different look to the plates.
So this is Troy University, and it's a great process. We get all the leadership involved. Dr. Hawkins is involved. The marketing, communications folks are involved to really look at how we can make it fresh and vibrant. And I'm excited about this year's tag. We've had a great response to it.
Troy University has offered a specialized car tag for more than 20 years, but the key change of this year's car tag is that it now offers 6 characters instead of the normal 5.
We've got a power T on there now, and we moved Hector so that the Trojan warrior is shadowed behind the letters. And then one of the things that people are super excited about is 6 letters instead of 5 on the previous one. That gives you a whole lot more personalization options.
Last year alone, more than 9,000 Troy University car tags were purchased, and according to Pike County probate judge Wes Allen, Troy University ranked 3rd among Alabama University car tag sales.
Well, Pike County by far sells the most Troy University car tags. I believe Troy University is 3rd in the state in university car tag sales. So Troy has a very good following, proud alumni, and we're very proud of that fact as well.
A $50 cost is placed on the license plates, but most of that money is given right back to the school and used to fund the university's scholarships.
What we've done is endow a fund for scholarships with that money. So we have legacy scholarships for the children alumni that are funded by that, as well as study abroad scholarships.
To date, around $4 million has been collected for scholarships through the purchase of Troy University car tags. Justin Walker, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy University students had the chance to get a little something extra from Troy's faculty during the annual Student Appreciation Day. Once again, here's Justin Walker.
Troy University held its annual Student Appreciation Day on the Bibb Graves Quad on Wednesday, welcoming students with free pizza, drinks, and prizes.
This is Faculty Senate initiated, and we started this about 3 years ago, and we've got lots of different representatives. We've got alumni affairs, we've got people from Barnes & Noble, we've got also other vendors.
There are several booths set up where students can receive free prizes. For example, at this booth, all that is required is a spin of the wheel. With this being the third annual Student Appreciation Day, Noinska says that she's happy to see the event get bigger with each year, with more faculty getting involved. And it gives students a chance to interact with their teachers outside of the classroom.
It's important because faculty already does quite a bit of work in classes, and we interact in more of this formal setting, so it really makes sense for us to get out and talk about things over pizza, over punch, there's more kind of a relaxed environment.
One student said that she was proud to go to a university that goes out of its way to make sure each student is happy and knows that they are an important part of the student body.
We feel like at the end of the day that they're looking out for us and they care about us, and they really do appreciate us, and they don't just want our money for tuition, that we actually do matter.
Student Appreciation Day is held every spring semester. Justin Walker, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Every spring, nearly 2,000 college students make the trip to the capital city for the Higher Education Day rally. Among them were hundreds of Cardinal-clad Trojans there to show their support for not only higher ed as a whole, but to the school they love. Kyle Shook takes a look at the Trojans one and all who took part in the rally.
At the Higher Ed Day rally, Troy Trojans stormed the state capitol and made sure their voices were heard. As part of an annual campaign to allocate funds to public universities from the Educational Trust Fund, Troy joined the other 13 public universities in Alabama on the steps of the State House. SGA member Lakin Berry is fully invested in the change that can occur through this rally.
I think Higher Education Day is an awesome day for students to come out and be able to share their opinions and show the people in the Capitol that we really care about education and that we care about being able to go to school, and that a lot of people don't come from backgrounds that allow them to be able to afford school as well as others, and that we need help from the government for that.
Students are representing all 14 public universities in the state of Alabama to lobby for 1/3 of the Educational Trust Fund, including more than 250 Troy Trojans. One student is proud that Troy brought so many students to the rally.
I think it's a great opportunity for all the schools to get out there and get their voice heard on meeting the goal and trying to get 1/3 for our schools. The more people we have, the more it shows that we really want this.
Barry invites senators and representatives to come and see the work that has been put into this rally.
We've been inviting the senators and representatives to come downstairs and hear us and hear what we're trying to say. Gordon Stone does a great job of portraying that. He's in charge of a Higher Ed Day, and I hope that they just hear that we care.
Reporting from Montgomery, Kyle Shook, Troy, TrojanVision News.
This semester, Trojans learned about a new way to engage with news and stories from around the Troy campus. Jamal Kennedy has the details.
Recognize this building, right? It's the Addis Administration building on Troy's main campus. Now, recognize this website? Don't worry, because it's new to Troy University and it's a blog called Troy Today.
Troy Today is the new blog which we've launched here in University Relations. We entered into a soft launch in the fall, which we really just kind of rolled it out and started sharing some of the content on social media. And during that time, we were kind of testing it out, making sure all the features were working the way we wanted it and seeing what the reaction was. And now we feel like it's ready for prime time, and we've recently announced it, and we're proud that it's here.
On the second floor of Adams is where the media department is located, and it's also where the idea behind Troy Today first came from.
The media landscape's changing. There is so many more options out there for people to get news, to keep up with organizations and the things that they want to keep up with. And we wanted to create a platform that would sort of be a central place for us to tell great stories, for people to follow along with the life of the university, to interact, and to keep in touch.
While the staff is composed mostly of media relations administrators, there are others involved as well.
We do have student writers. We recently featured a column by Olivia Melton, the SGA president. We've had columns and pieces that were written by faculty members, and we hope to grow that because we do want this blog to be both a great resource of news and information from the administration, but also to have voices from the whole Troy community.
One of the main purposes of the blog that Clower and administration wanted was to make it more personal and people-oriented.
So what's different about this blog than kind of what we did before? We've always done, press releases and a lot of news and information. We've always had that type of content that we shared online. But once we decided to launch a blog, what we wanted to do is really tell more stories about people. the people that make Troy University unique and special.
The official website can be found at troy.today. Once again, that is troy.today. Jamal Kennedy, Troy TrojanVision News.
A collection of postcards dating back to the 1800s are helping tell the history of Alabama. The postcards are a part of a traveling exhibit celebrating Alabama's bicentennial, and they made their debut in the Troy University Library in February. Sarah Jones gives us a look.
When Wade Hall donated his postcard collection 11 years ago, he had no clue what legacy he was leaving behind. After Hall's death in 2015, Troy University faculty members gathered together to create the Wade Hall Postcard Collection, a traveling exhibition whose first stop was none other than the Troy University Library. Dr. Chris Schaefer, Dean of University Libraries, believes that the collection is beneficial to Troy University students.
I think it's a great way for the students to get a fast history of the state of Alabama in just a simple way. It's just very nice and concise, but one of the exhibits is main streets across Alabama and the other one is in significant buildings across Alabama. So it's just a great way to learn a little bit about a lot of different places.
Troy faculty members and students were not the only ones in attendance for the kickoff reception held on Tuesday. Greg Swim, friend of Wade Hall, is pleased with the efforts Troy has made to preserve Hall's legacy.
I think this school was so important in his life. He graduated in 1953. He came here in 1950, and he said it was really just a country college in those days. It was a small teacher's college, and but it was his gateway to the world. It provided an outlet, a learning outlet, and exposed him to people and places that he would never have been exposed to.
The Wade Hall Postcard Collection will be traveling across the state of Alabama as a part of Alabama's bicentennial celebration, whose theme is Discovering Our Places. Sarah Jones, Troy TrojanVision News.
Every February, Troy University kicks off the month by holding its annual leadership conference celebrating African American history. This year, the conference opened with a nationally known radio host and comedian. Jalen Bivens has the details.
Black folks, we need.
Friday night, students, faculty, and other members gathered in Sartain Hall to participate in the 16th Annual Leadership Conference. While there, attendees listened to guest keynote speaker Ricky Smiley talk a bit about his life.
I just hope they get some motivation out of it, and we're going to have a good time. I'm going to make this a fun speech for the kids, and hope they can just take these little nuggets that I'm going to give and take it and run with it and use it for the rest of their lives.
Smiley said he wanted to have an impact on students' lives just like one civil rights leader had on his.
I want to have a big impact, the same kind of impact that Reverend Jesse Jackson had on me my freshman year of college. And I remember how I felt, and I remember how I felt when I left, and how excited I was that Reverend Jesse Jackson was there. Somebody that walked the walk with Dr. Martin Luther King, and that was really exciting for me.
After the speech, students talked about the impact of the leadership event.
I really enjoyed this event because I feel like Ricky Smiley just came and he was completely himself. He didn't have a perfect script to give us, but something that was really from the heart, and I appreciated that. I felt like he was very genuine and talked a lot about perseverance, and that was something that we need to focus on right now.
Before Smiley left, he wanted to leave the students with a bit of advice.
Go out there and make it happen. Don't get so caught up in hip-hop culture that you can't go and sit down and get a real interview and do a good interview with your haircut, the way you wear your pants, the way you wear your clothes, the way you act, introducing yourself, not dapping everybody up as opposed to a handshake.
He also made a statement saying just because you're from the projects doesn't mean the projects have to be in you. Jalen Bivens, Troy, TrojanVision News.
On January 16th, the nation took time to remember the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. However, a week later, Troy students honored the memory of the civil rights icon through an annual event held by Troy's Freshman Forum. Justin Walker has the story.
If you entered the doors of Sorrel Chapel on Monday night, you'd have thought you were attending a church revival. This, however, was not a church service, and this was not a normal sermon. Freshman Forum hosted a Martin Luther King Jr. ceremony, and the guest speaker was not a minister, but was the very first African American football bowl subdivision head coach in the nation. And it was his collection of African American artifacts that he wanted to show.
I have a display that I feel like people should look at. And when they invited me, I said, this is what I'm going to show. You know, I'm not going to repeat a sermon, or I'm not going to repeat the letters from the Birmingham jail.
And how long has he been collecting his prized possessions?
Over years, over 30-some years of living around the country, and having a desire and a want to collect this stuff.
And after growing up during a time of racism, Dickerson said that he wanted to use his display to show his children all the struggles he faced.
It's a collectible, and when my children were growing up, I wanted them to know, hey, this is how we were perceived.
Dickerson was head coach at both Temple and Alabama State universities. Justin Walker, Troy, TrojanVision News.
In February, both domestic and international students came together to attend the International Student Cultural Organization Melting Potluck Dinner. As Nathaniel Rodriguez shows us, the event was meant to create a better understanding between Troy's Muslim population and the rest of the university.
Troy University's International Student Cultural Organization held its first ever Melting Potluck Dinner Sunday evening to help foster better relationships among Troy's Muslim and non-Muslim communities. Graduate student Elise Robinson said she got the idea for the potluck when she saw hateful comments concerning the travel ban on 7 predominantly Muslim countries on social media.
I just hoped that maybe having a dinner with them, something very simple, would allow us to meet with them and just have some time of fellowship and brotherhood with them.
During the potluck, several students and faculty members expressed concerns about the uncertainty of the future.
The anxiety it produces in the students is very high, and they don't know if they can travel, they don't know if they can go home this summer, and frankly, I don't always know what to tell them.
If I left during the summer, to meet my parents, go back home for my parents and stuff, I can't, they said it would be on my own responsibility, and they cannot help me if I can't get back in. So basically, I'm almost locked in the United States and I can't go back.
Even with these unknowns, several students said the potluck made them feel more welcome in Troy.
And Troy has been very inclusive and very welcoming, not even to just Muslim students or Middle Eastern students, but to students from around the world. I think there's more than 17 nationalities here, and we're all just as welcomed.
Although the current draft of the travel ban exempts visa holders from it, it is still subject to change.
Troy's Office of Civic Engagement provided a way for students to show off their creative side and also donate non-perishable food items to charitable causes. Seth Hawk has the story.
Troy's Office of Civic Engagement allowed students to get creative today using non-perishable food items in their annual Can Castle contest.
So we are doing the Can Castle. This is an annual event, and it's just a mechanism for us to alleviate poverty and food insecurity in the local community through our Campus Kitchens program, as well as our Backpack for Kids program.
For this contest, various organizations around Troy's campus competed against each other as a part of Troy's Greek Week.
We compete in it every year, just like every other Greek organization on campus. It's just to collect cans, and you get points for it, and so it really helps out if we get to bring our cans.
As you can see behind me, the can castles are slowly but surely being built. Some are simple, some are complex, but all the food that's used today will go to charitable causes.
You know, it's really a good thing to always feel like you're a part of something bigger than yourself, and being able to join together with all of my sisters and all of us to, kind of give back and give in and buy into this cause. It's just, it's really humbling to know that it's something so small that we can do. We're so blessed and we're so fortunate, but just giving a few cans costs a few dollars for us to do this.
Seth Hawk, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy University students got their first glimpse at what the brand new recreation center planned for campus will look like at a town hall meeting in February. Janae Jordan has the details.
Many questions and rumors have been floating around about the new recreation center. So on Thursday, a town hall meeting was held in Patterson to clear up all rumors and to inform students about the new recreation center.
We had a town hall meeting not too long ago before this process kind of started, and it first was just to kind of gather ideas, but now we've taken those ideas, we've done something with them, so it was kind of equally an opportunity to kind of touch base with the student body and tell them kind of what we've done, and also to kind of hold us accountable and hold hold the project accountable about kind of the direction we've gone to make sure that it lines up with the students and specifically to answer their questions, because I feel like there hasn't been a lot of transparency. And, they heard there was going to be a rec center. They didn't know where it was going to be. They didn't know when it was going to be done. And we wanted to answer all those really clearly and all have the same answer. So.
Parking is a big issue, and many students feel with construction starting in August, it will make parking even more challenging.
You can use our translock system. That's the main reason that we use the translock system. The main reason that we got that up and running before this point is so that students could use it, get acquainted with it. It's a really cool system. Everyone should look into it. And you can kind of request them to come to your location. You can see their routes in real time about where they are, so you can get an estimate of when they're going to come to you. So using public transportation, I walk by it every day when I'm going to work, and I see like 3 people on the buses, about like 3 buses. There's like 3 people on each bus. So we could do a lot better. A lot of people could use it. Carpooling, a lot of people don't really carpool. I think it's something that we could start.
As many students know, tuition was raised $100 to fund the recreation center. So many are questioning how much exactly is this recreation center?
I believe it's $24 million is the budget. I think it's like $24 million and 500,000. Can I do math? And I think we're right on budget, about 200,000 below that.
Groundbreaking for the new recreation center will be held in August. Janae Jordan, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy University will soon be home to a new sorority. Representatives from AO Pi sorority on campus in February, making plans for the group's arrival on campus this fall. Sarah Singletary shows us what they were up to.
Alpha Omicron Pi is on its way to becoming the new sorority on the Hill. But before the organization becomes active here on campus, representatives from AO Pi's national office visited Troy on Tuesday to get a pulse on campus and really pick some students' brains, Greek students being a major resource.
They know who is Greek and who's not, and what their organizations already do to be such a strong community, because it's very evident that this is a very strong community and a very involved. And we like to just kind of get an understanding of how they are so successful and how they are setting themselves up for success, not only in their collegiate years, but as alumni as well.
And not only did the focus groups reach out to members of the Greek community, but also to students who are not in a fraternity or sorority.
We're not recruiting those Greek students when we might not be recruiting the men and women that we talk to that aren't affiliated, but those students have that great perspective of kind of telling us where to go on campus, who to reach out to, and how to become involved.
Sweeney adds that Troy's unique school spirit helps make the extension process more exciting.
One of our core values is college loyalty, and I think that there's not many campuses that exude college loyalty quite like Troy. Like, that's one of the first things that they talk about is school spirit and just being involved and being good ambassadors of the university for potential students and current students. So I think we're just really excited to have a group here and enhance what's already here.
The time it takes to get from Troy to Panama City Beach is roughly 2 hours by car. But 6 days on foot was the way 35 brothers from Alpha Tau Omega fraternity chose to get to the beach over spring break. Seth Hawk shows us the end of their nearly week-long journey.
Over 30 men from Troy's Alpha Tau Omega fraternity completed their 6-day walk on Wednesday afternoon during Troy's spring break, as excited spectators cheered them on for the last few yards.
I am so excited for these guys. As I was driving down here, all that I could think is that this is one of the most amazing ways that Troy can be a beacon to the world, as we say in our alma mater. And this chapter has worked so hard, and these boys have done an incredible job. We've watched the videos, we've watched all their posts, and encouraged them along the way.
From the Troy University Quad to Pier Park right here in Panama City Beach, Florida, that's about 128 miles. Now the trip is mentally and physically tasking on foot, and one ATO brother that has done it 3 times says that there's no greater reward than seeing that finish line and helping wounded veterans.
My dad served in the military for 21 years. And this is just my way of giving back to the servicemen and women that are just serving our armed forces. Each year, this is my way to just bring back what is owed to them. Each year, I just put my body through pain, physical and mental toughness, and walk this walk with my brothers. And you can just see it around right now. This is what it's worth. It's what it's all about.
The brothers of Alpha Tau Omega raised $43,000 to go towards Jeep Sullivan's Wounded Warrior Outdoor Adventures. And Sullivan says that the walkers have his utmost respect.
It just kind of brings back some new hope to us older guys, watching these young men do what they're doing for our veterans and our service men and women that are all over the place right now, all over this globe, bringing freedom to us and to other nations, other people.
Reporting from Panama City Beach, Florida, Seth Hawk, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The Janice Hawkins Park Amphitheater turned into a place of worship in a first-of-its-kind event held in March as Troy students gathered for an evening focused on prayer. Lauren Harkson has the story.
Thursday night, students gathered at Troy's amphitheater for a brand new event, Pray for Troy. The organizer, freshman Katie Breland, explains what Pray for Troy is and her inspiration behind starting this event.
So basically tonight we gathered together as a campus just to pray for our school, and I had a vision for this in January and I just started planning, and I'm just blown away by the amount of students who showed up tonight, and it was just such an honor to be able to come before our Lord and just pray for our school.
Breland's passion for Troy led her to start this event in order to bring more opportunities to Troy students.
So I went to a conference in January called Passion, and it was where 50,000 students just gathered, and we just worshiped and we learned more about the Lord, and I just kind of wanted to bring something like that to Troy.
Many students helped Breland plan and execute Pray for Troy. Emily, too, prayed at the end of the service and explains where her inspiration stemmed from.
As the night went on, I was just in awe of God, and just like, God is so awesome, and it's incredible that we can sit here in His presence. And so when I got out there, the only thing I knew to pray was, God, you're awesome, and thank you for being that awesome God that allows us to have a relationship with you and to communicate with you in this way.
When each person arrived tonight to the Pray for Troy event, they received a white card. At the end, they placed their prayer requests on these cards to hang right here on the wall. In addition to prayer, the students sang worship songs and heard a message from Troy Church pastor Jason Durant, who discussed the real meaning behind prayer.
For me, the big deal tonight was just kind of our understanding of prayer, our motive for prayer, and so really thinking about who God is and trusting God as we pray, as opposed to just kind of going through some empty religious motion and saying some stuff, but really thinking about Him and letting that move and guide how we pray.
Breland hopes to bring this event back for a second annual gathering. Lauren Harkson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And the amphitheater was home to another first-of-its-kind event during the inaugural Home Sweet Troy Week. Paige Weeks has all the details.
Thursday evening, Troy's students and faculty members came together for some food, fun, and fellowship. The Student Government Association held its Home Sweet Troy main event at Janice Hawkins Cultural Park. There, students and faculty were able to eat, play games, listen to live music, and hear from a special guest speaker.
It brings to people's mind what we do have, because it's so easy to take things for granted, isn't it? Until you wake up one morning and something bad happens and you think, oh no, why didn't I appreciate that? So I just think it's good to remind each other and ourselves how much we have and how blessed we are.
For one SGA member, the event was an opportunity for him to see a vision he had imagined years ago.
This is something that have envisioned for 2 years, and so we really wanted to provide an event with SGA that was just going to physically serve our students, pass out some food, and just create an atmosphere of a Trojan family, because that's what we are.
With finals coming up, the event was an opportunity for students to remember just how great Troy is, and it was also a chance for some students to relax.
You see everybody with their friends and stuff, so it's get a chance to connect with one another, and I'm just happy to see the students' body connecting like a family.
Paige Weeks, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And as a part of Home Sweet Troy Week, students volunteered their time to help raise money for the fight against cancer. Jalen Bivens has the details.
Friday evening, students gathered out in front of Shackelford Hall to participate in Relay for Life.
Today we have Relay for Life, which is a fundraiser for the American Cancer Society that's held in communities all over the United States every spring.
Dudinsky went further into detail about the event and what happens with the money that's raised.
It is a fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. It helps fund, all the money goes to the American Cancer Society, and it helps them fund cancer research as well as patient programs.
Last year's Relay for Life theme had to do with countries from around the world. This year, organizations have a new theme to work with, children's books.
This year, it's Dreaming of a World Without Cancer, which I've asked them to interpret as a children's storybook theme. So I've asked each of them to pick out a storybook and then decorate their campsite accordingly.
Dudinsky says that this event is very personal to her since she had a family member that had cancer.
So my father is a survivor. He has been declared cancer-free for the past 2 years, and so it touches me personally as well as many members of my family.
Jalen Bivens, Troy, TrojanVision News.
In March, Troy University's Hall School of Journalism welcomed the co-founder of the Southern Poverty Law Center, Morris Dees. Jamal Kennedy has the story.
The Trojan Center ballrooms were reserved as the Hall School of Journalism and Communication held their annual journalism symposium on money, politics, and the media on Tuesday with a special guest speaker on hand to speak on the importance of politics and the media specifically.
That's pretty important today because our current president is kind of taking a dim view of journalism as we think about it. And I think it's important for journalism students, especially at Troy, and many of them may certainly be in favor of the current president, some may not be, to realize that journalism is a branch into itself.
With Dees serving a career as a lawyer and co-founder of the Southern Poverty Law Center, he likens the jobs of journalists to a branch of government.
These journalism students here and others at this college will realize that it's very important that they understand that they're like a branch of government, so to speak. It's critical that they realize that and don't fall in some political hodgepodge and end up getting a lot of mud on their face later.
Dees hung around for a Q&A after speaking and answered several questions from students about what direction he sees the world heading in today and how to combat certain societal issues, but he also has an important message for young journalists.
And I think it's important that these young people know that we're not trying to ask them to make political choices, but to make journalism choices today.
Jamal Kennedy, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy Public Radio celebrates their 40th birthday this year, and as a part of the celebration, they invited NPR correspondent Debbie Elliott to campus to speak to journalism students. Seth Hawk has the details.
Wednesday morning, students and professors from Troy's Hall School of Journalism and Communication gathered in the Trojan Center ballroom to hear a representative from National Public Radio.
Today we had one of NPR's correspondents, the national correspondent who's based in the South, Debbie Elliott, come and speak to students. She's actually also going to be doing a workshop here momentarily with students in broadcast, both radio and television.
According to one student in attendance, hearing Elliott speak was a delight due to being around NPR her entire life.
Well, it was really cool to have someone from NPR here. I know that it's been a staple in our household for my entire life. It's just been on the radio, like in my dad's car, on road trips. So it was cool to actually get to hear from someone who's done on-the-ground reporting from behind a microphone instead of behind a camera.
With close to 1,000 stations that play NPR nationwide and over 30 domestic and foreign bureaus, Elliott gives her thoughts on what separates NPR from other media.
You know, I kind of feel like we take you places. We'll take you to a community and we bring you voices from places that maybe you don't hear anywhere else.
Elliott said during her presentation that NPR will serve the individual, and according to her, that is a great responsibility.
It's about having respect for your listener. It's about helping people understand the world around them in a more full way, you know, bringing some nuance, some context, some history, some background, and helping people have the kind of information that we need.
Seth Hawk, Troy, TrojanVision News.
In March, over 300 high school students paid a visit to Troy to see if the university will be the place they someday call their college home. Justin Walker has the story.
High school students from around the country interested in attending Troy University were welcomed to Trojan Arena on Saturday for Preview Day, a day that allows those prospective students to get a glimpse into what the university has to offer.
Today is our Spring Trojan Day. This is a big day where prospective students come to Troy, learn about academics, student groups, housing, financial aid, all the things they need to know to become a future Trojan.
After talking with organizations that were represented, the students filled up Trojan Arena to listen to several speakers, including Chancellor Hawkins. And Hawkins shared a little bit about what his main message was for those students in attendance, and he hoped that they all would make Troy their future home.
I want these students to know that Troy University is a special place. They will find a home here, away from home, and they will get the very best that we can offer them in academics, in terms of experiences, values, and we'll try to do that so it's affordable.
After attending this admissions presentation, these high school students will be given a tour of campus, and then they will have the opportunity to attend Troy's baseball game against the University of Louisiana Lafayette.
What we hope they leave here with is a passion for Troy, like all of us have. We want them to leave here understanding what makes Troy such a special place.
Troy University will hold its next preview day in the fall. Justin Walker, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Homeschooled students come from a non-traditional academic environment, so making the transition to college might be a challenge. Every spring, Troy University hosts a day to bring the campus to learn about what Troy can offer.
Let me just quickly go through my favorite four-letter word, and that's Troy.
Those are the words Chancellor Jack Hawkins Jr. said to welcome homeschool students and their parents to Troy's Homeschool Day on Friday. To kick off the event, students were able to learn about dual enrollment classes and attend multiple breakout and browse sessions before chowing down in Saga for lunch. Event coordinator Jane Berry believes that homeschool students bring a different perspective to the university.
You know, what we preach here is that we're a very diverse community as a school and as a whole, so that's something that we want to implement, you know, having homeschool students, not just your traditional high school students that go to public or private school. We want to open up that sector and just show them that, you know, they also can get a great education from Troy. You know, they can definitely fit in here and they can be great students here on this campus.
Homeschool Day closed with a tour of the campus and a Q&A session with a panel of homeschool students who currently attend Troy. Hannah Eccles, a senior from Enterprise, Alabama, feels that Troy University has the perfect program for her.
They have a great dance program, which is what I want to do. My dance teacher actually told me about it. She danced here. So they've really been helping me through this and showing me how to pursue what I want to do.
Sarah Jones, Troy, TrojanVision News.
In January, Troy University students and faculty paid their final respects to Dr. Neil Billington. Billington was a science professor that was a favorite of many Troy students and a beloved colleague to many professors on campus. Seth Hawk has the story.
Tuesday afternoon, students, friends, family, and colleagues gathered in McCall Hall to remember the life and legacy of Dr. Neil Billington, a professor of science at Troy University who passed away on January 18th of this year.
Dr. B was a very interesting and memorable person. I started school here in 2001. I think by 2003 I had Dr. Billington probably for my first class. I'm going to say I had him for 5 or 6 courses over the years, both undergrad and grad, and then eventually being hired on here and being a colleague. Dr. Billington was always a joyful person, very memorable.
According to Jonathan Miller, there was a notable difference between the students Miller taught and the students Billington taught.
I think one of the most significant things to me is how many students forget who I am, forget my name, forget my face, but there's never been a student, to my knowledge, that has forgotten who Dr. Billington is, that has forgotten a story of his. Everybody has a Dr. B story.
Dr. Billington's brothers made a trip across the pond to speak to the Troy University faculty and students, and Dr. Billington's younger brother Paul said he could see the legacy that Dr. Billington had left behind.
I think I just summed it up to one of the guys in there who said that, you know, Dr. Billington had taken him from a place where he didn't feel very comfortable at college and everything else, and really mentored into a place where he feels he'll now graduate with a very strong grade. And I think Neil's legacy would be, you know, everybody try your best and try and achieve your goals, and if Neil played a small part in that, you know, that would be his wish, that you would go on to fulfill your potential.
Seth Hawk, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And the memory of Billington lived on as a part of Troy University's Environmental Club's Earth Day cleanup efforts. Nathaniel Rodriguez shows us how the two came together.
The Troy University Environmental Club cleaned up a part of the Conecuh River Saturday morning as part of their Earth Week events. In addition to a simple cleanup, there was also a ceremony to dedicate the section of the river to the late Dr. Neil Billington. Billington passed away on January 18th from natural causes and instructed several members of the club.
This is important to us because we want to be able to honor the professors that impact a lot of our students. As I mentioned earlier, the members of our club tend to be environmental science related, so they take a lot of his classes, and they all have been impacted and educated by this man, so we really wanted to honor him in some way.
Goebel said that particular location holds a personal significance for Billington's former students.
This is an area where he teaches a lot of his limnology and population ecology labs, so they come out here, and this was a fun, friendly, happy spot for a lot of his students and for some of the work that he did, and we wanted to honor him in that way.
The section of the river was originally labeled for the Environmental Club, but Goebel said the process to change it was an easy one.
So it's part of their Adopt a Stream program. All we did was contact them, tell them that one of our professors who used the area recently passed away, and asked if we could change the name to something that would honor him, and they agreed to do it for us. There weren't any fees, and this is a county-based project, so the county has really supported us in this effort.
And at the end of the day, the students picked up various objects like a prom sign and other types of refuse. Nathaniel Rodriguez, Troy, TrojanVision News.
University's John M. Long School of Music was home to some younger musical talent as members of high school choral groups from across the Southeast converged on Troy to participate in a weekend of choral lessons and performances. Chelsea Law has the details.
On Friday, Troy University hosted the Southeastern United States Honor Choir. High school students came together to prepare for their conjoined concert. This opportunity gets students exposed and familiar with other styles of music that they might not have known.
For one thing, it exposes them to a total different style of music we've been doing since we're a fairly new program. Just puts them around more students that are learning to do what they're doing. So I really believe it's a great experience for my students at Charles Henderson.
Even though the Students' Day was mostly spent rehearsing, the university's various choirs performed a few songs to get them inspired and motivated.
Hearing the premier choir for the university here has definitely sparked an interest, and now we're preparing to go to competition, so they're very excited about it, especially after hearing the university choir. So,
being a part of the honor choir has left students feeling more confident and ready to one day become a part of a university choir.
Well, it's been teaching us a lot of different techniques, and it's making us all overall better singers, and it's teaching us how to work with a group of people, and it's also kind of given us the college experience, so we know kind of what to expect whenever we actually do go to college.
Chelsea Law, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And in March, the John M. Long School of Music once again directed its focus to choral music, but this time it was more specifically vocal jazz. Sarah Singletary has the story.
High school and community choirs from around the state visited Troy University Thursday for the John M. Long School of Music's Vocal Jazz Invitational. The event included several clinics and a performance from world-renowned guest musician Matt Falker, a jazz pianist and composer from California.
You can't have access to these kind of world-class musicians. Pretty much, it's very special, you know? I mean, he's just like very well known and sought after, and to bring him on our campus, spend quality time, and to have his expertise pour into our students and then the students that we're trying to recruit from is really a really cool thing.
Students who traveled to Troy for the Invitational share what they learned from the event.
How to stay smooth and connected, you know, make sure all the notes are long enough, not and like short enough, and make sure, you know, how to your breathing, make sure you're all together, and tone and quality, you know, it has to be good.
Don't be afraid to like sing out. It's an audience, not like not like you get afraid sometimes. So hey, just deal with it.
And while events like Thursday's Invitational are often seen as recruiting tools for the School of Music, Orlovsky hopes that the students who attend these events take away just one thing.
The joy of making music together. I mean, really, truly. I mean, where else can you do it? They sing, they get reinforced for what they're doing, and then they get to meet other people and hear other people as well. It's a rare and wonderful thing.
Thursday was the second and final day of the two-day Invitational. Falker was on campus Wednesday working with the School of Music's Frequency Ensemble.
A popular place to take a little batting practice in the city of Troy is back in operation after the help of faculty and students at Troy University. Antonio Reese takes us out to the newly reopened Troy batting cages.
Thursday afternoon marked the new reopening of the Troy Sportsplex batting cages.
The opening brought out a number of members of the community, including some household names such as Mayor Reeves and head baseball coach Mark Smart, as well as head softball coach Beth Mullins. Director of Troy Parks and Recreation Dan Smith gave details into the reopening of the cages.
This was a project where it was truly the Lord's work of it all coming together, because we were considering closing these cages because the total cost of refurbishment was approximately $20,000.
Assistant Professor of the School of Hospitality, Sport, and Tourism Management, Dr. Lindsay Madison gives details into what help her organization played in the reopening ceremony.
Dr. Martin and I worked with a grant. We wrote a grant as part of our service to the community, really, to kind of revitalize the batting cages so that they would be able to stay open.
Dr. Madison even went on to discuss what future plans her organization has with the cages.
Kind of going into the future, the students out of HSTM really get a good opportunity to get some field experience and hands-on learning, working with Dan in Parks and Recreation here at Troy. So our sport management students, our recreation students, some of our event management minor students are really kind of getting opportunities to be hands-on. So some of our students are out here now really just kind of being involved and connecting with the community that we're all a part of.
Mayor Reeves believes the reopening of the cages will do wonders in the community.
Well, it gives young people an opportunity to come out and hit baseballs and softballs. It gives families an opportunity to come out here and watch and interact. As you can see out here today, it's a great crowd and everybody's enjoying it. And so this is a really nice opportunity for people just to get outdoors and swing a bat.
Director Smith also added that with the reopening, the cages are now free for the boys and girls of baseball and softball in Troy.
As you can see, the cages are back up and running and full of eager batters. This has been Antonio Reese, Troy, TrojanVision News.
In February, Troy University's theater department performed the Tennessee Williams classic, The Glass Menagerie. Madison Neal gives us a behind-the-scenes look at the show.
Take a walk down memory lane as Troy's Department of Theater and Dance brings to the stage The Glass Menagerie.
It is a memory play. It's from the perspective of Tom's memories, and so there's a lot of creative freedom there for employing different directional tactics, or there's an absence of props on occasion. You know, they're pantomiming because memory, as you know, can be fragmented.
Throughout the play, the main character deals with an internal battle between self-exploration and responsibility to family.
At some point, you kind of have to separate from your family a little bit, and it's the idea of, I could help my family. I could stay back and work and help get extra money for my little brother or whatever, but that wouldn't be helping me. And so I think that's something that Tom deals with that I really can relate to.
Since its premiere in 1944, The Glass Menagerie has been studied and performed in classrooms and theaters around the world.
It's a classic. It's a play that's been read in so many high schools and performed so many times that I think that the student body should definitely come and see how their peers perform it.
After months of preparation, the play will hit the stage Thursday night. Madison Neal, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And they wrap things up with Once on This Island. Yu-Ching Xing gives us a look.
A very special production for the last show of the semester will be presenting on campus. The name of the musical is Once on This Island.
This is the first time we hold the show at Outdoor Theater, which is located behind the new resident hall in Hawkins Park. So the story is kind of like retold Little Mermaid fairy tale, which keeps audience engaged in Caribbean flavor with high energy dance and beautiful music. Also, a lot of props that actors use are made by hand. It's like handcraft. So it will be really interesting and awesome, I think.
This is the only music show in this semester, and it also includes the sign language performance. The crew prepared it from January to now.
For a musical, it definitely has to have an aura of spectacle to draw the audience in, and there definitely has to have a clear story to tell to the audiences, because you don't want to come out here and just see blitz and blam and glam and just think it's something, but the story has to be there to empathize with the audiences and to relate to the characters on stage.
There are over 20 actors in this crew, and all staff are Troy University students. They designed the costume and stage property with the director's help.
Of this show, Once on This Island would have to be Love Conquers All. It conquers grief, it conquers pain, it conquers trial, it conquers tribulation, it conquers strength, it conquers everything. Love transcends and can change from generation to generation, can change the physical structure of the island and the world.
于清正 TrojanVision News.
And that wraps things up for our look back at the spring semester. We hope you join us again in the fall for our next installment of Semester in Review. For myself and the rest of the crew here at Troy TrojanVision, thanks for joining us.